everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Murg Mayhem, where one take can cause mayhem. I know I'm not matching today. I couldn't really find it. I don't really have a hat that matches with this type of blue. But today, the motto is chill and relax. Unfortunately, I have to go to work pretty soon, but so I won't be relaxing too much. But everybody else, just chill and relax. I hope everybody had a great day yesterday. Today is Friday, March 29th. So yesterday I wasn't able to make an episode, like I said in the community post. But today I'm just going to put, I guess, both. It really wasn't going to be too big of an episode. It was just going to be a lot of what happened yesterday as far as opening day is concerned. But today we're just going to talk. We're just going to make it one big episode today. So we're going to start off with NBA because there were only 2 games last night. There's a lot more games today, but yesterday the Hawks and Boston played. It was a really good game. Boston should not have lost this game. Just like there was yesterday's episode, or at least Wednesdays, for sure. I think, well, maybe not. I don't remember. Blanking out here, but Boston played Atlanta earlier this week or late last week, and they gave up a lead. They gave up their lead, and they were able to. The Hawks were able to come back and win. This game, that wasn't the case. They just, were clutch in the later minutes, and went to overtime. I mean, DeJounte Murray had 44, going 18 of 44, 6 of 19. From a percentage standpoint, it was not, he didn't really shoot too great. He shot less than 50%, which, I mean, is still fantastic, but probably not the percentage he probably wishes he was shooting at. But yeah, he led his team to victory. But Bogdan Bogdanovic ended up getting 24, and DeAndre Hunter getting 21. Clint Capella, 12 and 13, double-double. And then the bench, Wesley Matthews had 3. And then, just small contributors from the bench. But for Boston, I mean, like I said earlier, they shouldn't have lost this game. Tatum had 31, Porzingis had 20, Jaylen Brown had 18, White had 22, Holiday had 13. I mean, Porzingis and Brown and Tatum were 8 of 20, 9 of 22. Tatum 31 and 13 and 6 assists, and I mean, I just don't know how they lost the game. I mean, they lost on a buzzer beater, but which comes down to just clutch shot making. But Boston has lost these last few games, or against teams they should have just beat down. And Atlanta is a team that they just should have beat down, because their best role player, Onyeka Okongwu, didn't play against the Celtics. Jalen Johnson didn't play against the Celtics, and that's just a rising star that they've brought up and starting to mold and develop. And they were out 2 guys that have been contributing for them all year. So DeJounte Murray just put his team on his back, and he was able to get it done. And then what's crazy is another free throw discrepancy. I really think that free throws are like the stats I think that are really important, especially since I was able to watch this game because it's on Bally Sports, and a lot of baseball was highlighted on ESPN at 6. So there wasn't a lot of that game wasn't really on ESPN, and I don't think anything was on TNT. And if there was, I just wasn't paying attention to it and was prioritizing baseball on ESPN. But um, I mentioned this in a few other episodes too. Assists throughout the whole game is important, just because the ball movement um, is a stat that if you don't watch the game, you can at least look at it and be like, okay, well, it seems like they were moving the ball, making the defense work, and able to get open shots and things like that. Rebounds to an extent. Atlanta out rebounded them by 10, which I think is big because they were outsized. Um, and they Boston had Porzingis, and they had Horford didn't play due to injury, but Luke Cornett's over 7 foot, and Tillman's 6'9", and they just got out rebounded by guards and one power forward. So that's kind of embarrassing. If you're the Celtics, and then points in the paint is another one. Obviously it didn't really matter, just because it's a 3-point. This game is a 3-point league, but last night the Hawks outscored them in the paint as well, 60-52. And then free throws, like I was trying to mention earlier before I keep just rambling and going around. Boston had 21 free throws, and the Atlanta Hawks had 10. So, I mean, do what you want with that information. I've been trying to see how many of these games have been determined by free throws, and I just don't understand how the Atlanta Hawks, I know they are outmanned, and I know that there's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Porzingis, and good stars on the Boston Celtics, but I mean, you can't give them 21 free throws and Atlanta Hawks 10. I mean, that's just outrageous to me. But going in the second half, for the game, Atlanta shot 49%, while the Boston Celtics shot 48. So they shot a little bit better, but all in all, they shouldn't have lost this game. Period. That's all I gotta say about that. Boston's number one team in the East, so I wouldn't really go at it too hard. But I mean, they should not have lost this game. And the other game I had last night was the Bucks and Pelicans. This was a really good game. Giannis 35 and 14. Damian Lillard did get hollowed up in the first quarter, but he was able to play through it. He scored 20, going 50% from the field and from three. He also ended up getting 7 assists, and Malik Beasley had a bounce back shooting game. Both of them did, actually. Dame and Malik Beasley. 6 of 12, 50% from the floor, 6 of 11 from three. And he ended up getting himself 20 points as well with a block. And that was it for the most part for scoring. I mean, the bench, Bobby Portis had 5, Crowder had 3, and Condon had 3. So there wasn't really a lot of contributions from the bench, and not really from not really from New Orleans either. Larry Nance had 9, and Jordan Hawkins had 2. So not really a good bench scoring game by any means. But Zion was unstoppable last night. 28 points. My bad, I almost said rebounds for a second. 28 points, 5 rebounds, going 9 of 15 from the floor. Valanciunas, veteran big man, he was able to get 17 and 10 last night. McCollum 25, 7-7, and Trey Murphy 15-11. He had some really big shots down the stretch, including a three on the right wing. And yeah, I mean Herbert Jones was impactful on the defensive end. He did get 11 points as well. 11 points, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. So he had a really impactful game for New Orleans. Um, I mean, there's really nothing else to say about this game other than Pelicans got it to an 18-point lead. They ended up losing, or at least the Bucks came back, took the lead, and then New Orleans was able to get the lead back. Um, Another free throw discrepancy, I guess. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of free throws discrepancies in this game. Milwaukee 10-19, while Pelicans had 34 free throws in total. Goodness. Both teams. I mean, Milwaukee had a better shooting night from three, 35.9, basically 36%, while New Orleans 25%. Typically, they're a way better 3-point shooting team than that. But yeah, I mean it was just all in all a really good game. I mean when Zion is healthy, he's able to do this on any given night for you. And I mean, yeah, I just really think that Zion, if he stays healthy for the rest of the year, New Orleans is going to be a very interesting going into the playoffs because, unfortunately, right now Brandon Ingram is out. He when he did get injured a few days ago, he suffered a bone contusion in his left knee, so he's expected to miss the next 2 weeks, basically until the rest of the season. Dyson Daniels did not play last night as well. He's one of their better defenders, better on-ball defenders, and Jose Alvarado did not play as well. So they were a little bit hobbled last night as far as injuries, but they were able to get out with a win, and Zion and CJ put the team on their backs, and Valanciunas was able to contribute and help them out too. One thing about NBA news that did not happen last night, but I think it actually happened. I think over the weekend. No, just kidding. Wednesday night. Draymond Green got ejected on Wednesday, and I don't think he's gonna learn his lesson, to be honest. Because Draymond's gonna be Draymond. We can't. As like he said, he's a grown man. He's gonna do whatever he wants to do, and it's like it gets old when you keep barking at officials. And I understand, like, you're trying to get your point across, everything like that. But there's no need for it. We have to start, as far as like fans, like holding him more accountable, and because Draymond is a very, very intelligent basketball player, one of the better and unique defenders this sport has ever seen. Like, you're too important to try to get every call your way, and if Joe Crawford, I think that's his name, one of the previous NBA referees, if he was in the league today and Draymond Green was doing that to him, Draymond Green would get ejected basically every game, because he would not have the tolerance to do that. And kudos to these referees for taking all this shit because I mean, who knows what could happen on a day-to-day basis on an NBA floor with Draymond Green. I mean, to be honest, I'm just glad there wasn't a fight happen. He didn't punch anybody, like that. And when they lost, I mean, when he was out for 16 games, I mean, they were a 500 team basically. So it's not like they played really great without him. They really didn't. But Kuminga was able to shine while in his absence. So you know, and Steph was pretty disappointed, and so were a lot of the Warriors fans that were in attendance against the Magic. Um, but in that game, um, Wiggins was able to get 23 points because of that. So in a way, like they got lucky. Um, he only played 4 minutes. Um, it gets to a point where you don't really care anymore if he plays or not, just because if they're able to win by 8 without him and have Andrew Wiggins get 23, um, Curry ended up getting 17, Thompson 15. Moody was able to, with Draymond Green not playing, Moody was able to get 24 minutes last that game. He ended up getting 12. Um, so I don't know. It's getting to a point where like it's annoying trying to talk about this stuff about Draymond Green, having him in the limelight, and it's kind of the media's fault and our fault too, because if we keep talking about it, it's not going to change because he's going to listen, and then it's like, well, I'm just going to do what I want, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to apologize every 15 times I do this, and we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and it just gets old. So yeah, Draymond Green, hopefully you get your act together, because this team desperately needs you in the standings, where Houston is coming, dude. Houston is right behind you guys. They are on a 10-game win streak, knocking on wood. Twice, one here, and my desk right here. I mean, the Lakers are 41-32. They're on their way to potentially getting the 7th seed. So, bro, like you need to like calm down, because the season's almost over. You're at 72 games right now, and you have 10 more games to go, and you need to win basically 60% of those games. You need to win 60%, because if Houston is able to win all the rest of their games, highly unlikely to have a 20-game win streak going into the playoffs and kick you out. I mean, Draymond, like, you gotta. I mean, which it's not gonna be your fault. It's not gonna be his fault at all. But like that 16-game suspension that he had earlier this year, if he was playing, I guarantee you they wouldn't have lost and been a 500 team if you were playing. That's all I gotta say, about that. But we're gonna transition into opening day baseball. Baseball is back. I'm very, very excited. Um, Unfortunately, I was able to watch one game. I was able to watch the Texas Rangers and Chicago Cubs. That game was amazing. Um, but everything else, I was able to watch a play by play of the Detroit and White Sox game, just because I didn't drive to Detroit. I don't have Bally Sports, like I've mentioned earlier, and I do not, and I don't have Detroit's game of sports channels either. So, um, we're gonna start off with. I mean, I could talk about opening day for all day, but we're just gonna talk about the games that either I was interested in, or games that I feel like um, should get mentioned. Um, we're gonna talk about the Angels and Orioles game that happened. It was the first game of opening day. 2 games did not play. 4 teams didn't play. The Brewers and Mets and the Braves and Phillies. Those were those are going to be made up today at around noon, just because of weather conditions. Just to let you guys know, this episode is going to be pre-recorded, obviously, since but it's going to, so those games, by the time this podcast episode gets uploaded, they're already going to be played, and everything like that. So, um, we're back to Angels and Orioles. So the um, Orioles basically flat out stomped over the Angels. I'm not really surprised at all. Um, Corbin Burns did make his Oriole debut, and Corbin Burns did Corbin Burns things. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, and that basically was after a Mike Trout home run in the first inning. Um, Mike Trout did Mike Trout things. He basically went 1 for 3, home run off Corbin Burns. Unfortunately, he did strike out, but but yeah, he had an amazing game. 1 for 3, was able to put the ball in play one more time, but got out. But yeah, that was the only run until the top of the eighth. Yeah, that's it really for the Angels. The only highlight was Mike Trout getting a home run, and that was it. The Orioles, like I said, with Corbin Burns, 11 Ks. I mean, that's great for for a debut. If I had anything to say, Adley Rutschman 2 for 4, um, 2 RBIs. Santander 4 RBI game, amazing. He had a homer in this game as well. Cedric Mullins did get a home run as well. Mike Trout was barely missed it. I think it was going to be. I think it was barely out of his reach. Um, it was the dead center field. But yeah, I mean the Orioles showed you why they were the league leader. They were the division leader last year. This game right here, their offense is amazing. Defensively, they're elite. And I mean, I know this is only first game of the season, but I really think they're going to be the division leader for sure. Um, but yeah, Orioles and Angels played. Detroit and White Sox played yesterday as well. They were those two games were the earliest games, I think. Um, like I said, my Colt Keith made the opening day roster. So that he started this game, which I'm glad he started. Um, he did face a lefty, Garrett Crochet, which this was his first start of his career in the big leagues. He's typically a reliever, but yeah, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and 8 Ks. And then Scooble on the other side also went 6 innings, 3 hits, and 6 Ks. No earned runs. So he had a really good. Both pitchers had really great outings. Unfortunately, Garrett Crochet gave up a sac fly to Andy Ibanez, and then Javier Baez tagged up and scored from third, and then that was the only run of the game. Both teams really held it down defensively. Colt Keith ended up getting his first hit in the big leagues, infield hit up the middle, but I wasn't able to watch all of his plate appearances, but I was able to watch most of them. He didn't strike out. He has a really, really great eye for the zone. First AB, he lined out, and he hit the ball hard. So it's not like he didn't hit the ball soft at all. I think the only mishit ball he had was his infield hit. I mean, he was a little out in front. But yeah, as far as opening debut goes, yeah, he had a really good debut. I mean, he's there to hit. That's why they signed him to that contract. That's why he's playing right now, is because he's a very, very great hitter. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to watch him play, and sorry, I got an alert on my phone. Wow, that's dumb. But yeah, really, really great game. I was shocked this game was this close. But baseball is a low scoring game most of the time, and I'm just glad I was able to watch it. Yankees and Astros, another really intense game. Juan Soto made his Yankee debut, 2 walks. He's a guy that can control the zone. He did get a single and an RBI, and he had the game-saving play. He's not really the best defender by any means. His arm is above average arm, um, but yeah, he was able to gun down Mauricio Dubon. Um, I think I don't remember who hit the ball, who got the hit, but um, oh my God, I apologize. But yeah, he was able to gun down Mauricio Dubon, um, to help save the game for Clay Holmes to get the save. Um, yeah, it was basically that was one of the highlights of the day. Aaron Judge went 1 for 4, Stanton went 1 for 5, Rizzo went 1 for 3. I mean, as far as hits, the Houston Astros out hit them, but typically the Yankees strike out a lot, um, and they ended up striking out 10 times. Um, Hopefully, you can limit that to single digits, but I mean, 10 times is. I mean, I could definitely tell you there are times where each guy struck out at least twice. Um, so yeah, both teams, Framber Valdez was pitching and Nestor Cortez was pitching as well. So both pitchers combined had 10 strikeouts. And Josh Hader ended up getting 3 Ks, and it baseball is kind of hard to analyze, and just baseball is basically just a watch sport. The only thing how to talk about baseball is watching what happened, and then basically pitch calling, bad play calling, things like that. But no, this game, baseball is basically a game where you just have to watch and see what happens. And the Yankees yesterday were a team that were able to get timely hits and execute simple relays, and Juan Soto had a good throw. So that's what happened in that game. The Dodgers played the Cardinals yesterday. Cardinals are trying to get back to the postseason and be back to the Cardinal way. Basically, be better. That's that's basically what all Cardinal fans and what I'm trying to hope for is, can they be better than last year? Because last year was absolute garbage. But I don't know why he needed to. Whatever. Sorry, I looked at a stat, and Ryan Yarbrough got a save. This was not a save situation. There was no save situation at all. But ESPN gave him a save. So, but yeah, Tyler Glass now pitched. He was the opening day starter in Korea. Glass now went 6 innings, 5 Ks, and gave up 1 home run and the only run of the game for the Cardinals to Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt went 3 for 4. And that's about it. Everybody else was 0 So he had the only hits for the St. Louis Cardinals. And Victor Scott made his debut. Got on base he got on base, so it was probably with an error. There were no walks. He didn't get on base with a walk, so he probably got on base with an error of some sort. But yeah, he ended up getting his first stolen base of the year. Hopefully we get to see good things from him. He's 23. He's really, really young. So we hopefully he'll be our center fielder for the near future. Tommy Edman is out, so I think that's why they put him. They brought him up, but yeah, Otani went 2 of 3. Betts went 1 for 2. He had 2 walks, so walks don't count as at bats. So, but yeah, Mookie Betts had a home run. Freddie Freeman went 2 for 3. He ended up getting a walk as well, and had a 2-run bomb. In the same inning. Uh, Betts and Freeman homered in the same inning. So, I mean, this Dodger team is going to be tough to beat when you have those three. The third inning showed you why. Betts homer, Otani walked, and then Freeman with a 2-run bomb. But yeah, I mean this Dodger team just gave it to the Cardinals. That's all about that game. It's just that 3-headed monster. That third inning was very unique. Like I said, Diamondbacks and Rockies. I told you that the Diamondbacks were probably going to beat down the Rockies. They did just that, 16-1. And very rarely do you see games like this, 16-1. Gurriel had the only home run of the Diamondbacks, but I mean, yeah, I mean it was just a full out onslaught by the Diamondbacks, just getting base hits. There were 3 doubles, lots of Ketel Marte went 3 for 5. Corbin Carroll went 0 for 2, but he did get 2 walks, and he didn't steal. He has the chance, he has the opportunity to steal whenever he wants to, but when the team is hitting like this, you don't really need to steal because your whole team is in an offensive rhythm. But yeah, I mean Gurriel 3 for 5, Christian Walker 2 for 4. I mean everybody was hitting exceptionally well, and they just poured it on. Kyle Freeland I think was the starter. He gave up 10 runs in 2 innings, and 2 and a third innings. And then everybody else they just weren't safe. They were not safe from well, it looks like 2 pitchers. They scored they scored their runs in the first 3 innings. After that, they didn't score anymore. But yeah, I mean, wow. 14 they had 14 runs in the 3rd inning. So, and that set a franchise record. So, yeah, that happened. So yeah, and then I told you don't watch the Guardians and the Athletics. I was right. It's not good. And then the other game I want to really talk about, the Marlins and Pirates. I'm not going to talk about this game, but all I'm going to say is a really, really good game. O'Neal Cruz hit a homer to tie the game, and went into extra innings, and 6-5 was the score. Padres and Giants played. That game in itself was another good game. Jung Ho Lee made his debut, went 1 for 3. Jackson Merrill went 0 for 2, but he was able to get a walk. But yeah, Xander Bogaerts was able to drive in an RBI to take the lead in the 7th. But yeah, it was a back and forth game, and Matt Chapman got a hit for his Giants debut. So, and Jorge Soler went over. So, Jorge Soler is going to be a guy that's going to strike out quite a bit. Machado still hasn't gotten rolling yet, but it's opening day, so he'll be fine. But yeah, I mean that was another good game too. But the last game, like I said, I'm going to talk about is the Texas Rangers and the Chicago Cubs. Um, it was unfortunate last night that Justin Steele got injured. I believe it was in the sixth inning. No, fifth inning. He got injured in the fifth inning. Um, he grabbed his hamstring, which I knew it was a hamstring. I mean, obviously he grabbed it, but they played that play so many times to where, like, I guess they were trying to see how it happened or what happened. Um, it didn't seem like it was a drastic injury. It didn't seem like he just like there was a noticeable pull or noticeable injury. He just fell down fielding a bunt. So, um, but yeah, I mean he pitched really well. In the innings that he pitched, he had 6 Ks and 4 2/3. Did give up a run, but his unfortunately he's going to be out on the IL now. Um, so hopefully he comes back with a swift in a quick, because the Cubs do need him. Because I don't really think there's going to be. I mean, their starting rotation is very slim now that Stroman's not there. But yeah, another rookie for Texas played last night, Wyatt Langford. He he had an infield hit as well. Brought He hit one in the sixth hole. Dansby Swanson just wasn't able to get him out. But yeah, I mean, Wyatt Langford got his first hit in Florida. He hit basically 360 for his career, 370 for his junior year, and 356 for his sophomore year. Both years averaging over 20 homers and 50 RBIs. So in college, this dude was an animal, a freak, and I'm just glad that he was able to get his first hit. And he got an RBI on a sac fly as well. So big things for Wyatt Langford this year. I'm really excited to see him play. And then there's a controversial at-bat that happened last night. Jonah Heim was catching, and Mastrobuoni pinched hit for Nick Madrigal. And visibly, as a watcher from the angle, you see him foul tip it. It's obvious, but the umpire did not see it. And, Jonah Heim's trying to talk to him like, hey, what happened? He foul tipped it. And the runner from Chicago was able to run in for a run and take the lead. And that point, it was 3-2. And then Travis Janikowski pinched hit for Duran. And when you throw so many sliders in, when I'm talking about the Janikowski at bat, basically, who gave up that? Alzolay. Alzolay is a very, very great reliever. Fastball to 96 and a devastating slider. They went fastball in, slider in, then a fastball away, slider in, and I'm pretty sure he has a changeup, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why you didn't go for a changeup there in that at bat, and they went slider back in, and Janikowski, not a power hitter by any means necessary, but yeah, I mean, he was able to get the bat head on it and hit it out with a good swing, and he was. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the pitch calling in that at bat at all, and even in the Garcia at bat, they call this pitch a sweeper. It's not a sweeper. It's a slider / slurve. It's whatever. Because there's a wipeout slider that does the exact same thing. So I hate that they call it a sweeper, because it just started last year. That it didn't happen in 2023, it didn't happen in 2022, and years prior, just happened in 2020, in 2023. Oh, it's a sweeper now. No, it's fucking not. I get so frustrated when they call it that, so I apologize for my French. But I mean, even that Garcia at bat, he was late on the fastball, and you throw him sweeper after sweeper after sweeper, and then it's just like, I mean, I know that you're trying to get him off balance and try to think that a fastball is coming and fool him, but no, it didn't work, and he was able to just demolish it into the left field seats. And then Jonah Heim, you know, not saying that he messed up, but he was able to bounce back from that play in the 10th inning, bases loaded, and able to get the walk-off hit and help the Rangers win on opening night when they brought out the trophy in Arlington. I think today they're going to bring out the rings. They're not going to get the rings today. Well, they don't even play today, but yeah, they don't even play today. So they're going to get those on Saturday, and they're gonna have ring ceremony Saturday, which is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to. Hopefully, I can watch them celebrate it. If not, it's whatever. But yeah, yesterday was Thursday, so I'm gonna bring that segment into today. I'm just gonna make sure there's not any other games to talk about that was interesting. There was one more game. The Boston Red Sox and Seattle Mariners. That game was insanely close. Basically, last night it was based off the long ball. Mitch Haniger, Dylan Moore, both had homers. Dylan Moore had a pinch hit home run. Mitch Haniger coming back to Seattle. He didn't really want to leave the Seattle organization, but they just didn't pay him. But he came back, hit a homer for him, and Devers and O'Neill had home runs as well when they needed them. Brian Bayo, amazing start, 5 innings, 2 runs and 2 Ks, and Luis Castillo had a really good outing too, but he gave up 4 and walked 2, and it just wasn't. Luis Castillo just wasn't able to get anybody else to give him the no decision, unfortunately. So, but yeah, Devers 2 for 5. Tyler O'Neill 1 for 3, but he was able to get that home run when they desperately needed it in the 8th. Just as another insurance run. And speaking of Tyler O'Neill, he sets an MLB record for hitting a home run in 5 straight opening days. So yeah, that's pretty astonishing. But yeah, sets MLB record, Tyler O'Neill, and he's gonna be in the record books for something when his career's over. But yeah, Thursday, Throwback Thursday. What happened in Thursday? On March 28th in 2015, Gino Auriemma won his 100th NCAA tournament game with UConn. He's probably got way more now, but I think that was when Breanna Stewart was still on the team. But he's been the coach at UConn for years. One of the best college basketball coaches. I mean, obviously, when you have the best talent, you're going to be able to do lots of great things. But yeah, he was able to get his 100th tournament game, and Kentucky and Duke played on March 20th, 1992, and Christian Laettner was able to hit a shot with 2.1 seconds remaining in overtime to beat Kentucky. 103-102 was the score, and obviously we know how good Christian Laettner was. One of the best clutch players in college basketball history. And yeah, that shot is going to be cemented for forever in college basketball history. So those were the 2 things that I just feel like I needed to mention for Throwback Thursday. Fiction Friday, I don't really think there's anything other than there's, I don't know if I mentioned, but Spider-Man 2 came out with a new game plus update, so you're able to play Spider-Man in all different suit aspects in any cutscene. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking up the upcoming releases for movies. Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire has been on everyone's radar. Me personally, I'm not really a Godzilla fan, but these past few movies have been, from what I've been hearing, extremely good. So I'm excited. I might go and see it. I might have to rewatch some and get prepared for this one. But that movie is coming out today. I think another movie that's been on my radar has been Monkey Man. Basically, this movie is about an anonymous young man unleashes a campaign of vengeance against the corrupt leaders who murdered his mom, and and continue to systemically victimize the poor and powerless. Dev Patel, I think he's an underrated actor for sure. I'm trying to figure out what movies he's been in. I think he was in this movie called Old, where he's with his family, and he's basically he and his family get old or something. I don't know if this was him. It might have been somebody else, but I mean, he's an accomplished actor. Trying to find his movies that he's been in, but yeah, he's 33, young actor. Years and years ago, he was in the last Airbender movie. Wow, he was Zuko in that trash movie. Not his fault by any means, but yeah, he was in that movie. But yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. But this is going to be his one where he's the focus. He's the main actor in this movie. If you see the trailer, he fight in his fight scenes. He looks in shape, and he's wow. If I could just speak for 1 second. Yeah, in the trailer, he looks in shape for those fight scenes. I think it's going to be an underrated movie. And I'm excited to see it just because the movie looks unique. But yeah, I mean, Friction Friday, there wasn't really a lot of things for me to talk about. To be honest, I really wasn't prepared because nothing really came out, nothing really happened. Other than the only thing I gotta say about Friction Friday is watch X-Men 97. It is greenlit for a apparent second season, from what I've been hearing, and yeah, Fiction Friday comes to a close, and I will see you guys on Monday. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Today is Good Friday, so I hope everyone has a good Friday. Hope everybody has a good Easter holiday on Sunday. Have a great weekend. Spend time with your family. Cherish those moments, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.